David said, it wasn't me. It wasn't me. Okay, now I'm gonna need y'all, if y'all gonna lie, get y'all lies together. Get y'all lies in order. Get the people you gonna include in your lie, get them on point and let them know this what we gonna say, this what we gonna do. All right. Now I am Denise Brady. I'm a licensed marriage and family therapist. Some of y'all are familiar with me, but those of you who are new, welcome, stay, hit that like, make sure you subscribe because we are keeping it way real over here. Okay. Really real. Really real. Now let's get into this episode because y'all need a therapist perspective. So we are meeting the family. I don't know why. I don't know why y'all wasting your family members' time. But here we are. It's time to meet the family. And we start off with Camille and Thomas, who we know are the only ones walking to decision day with their hands together, their hearts in love, building the foundation of emotional intelligence. Okay, they're the only ones that I see gonna say yes. Okay, so it was interesting to hear Thomas talk about and his bio mother being adopted, how hard it was for her to let him go, and the pressures of giving her son up for adoption, and how when she found him, it felt like the pieces fit together. So it reminded me as a therapist just how Thomas has a lot of different identities he's trying to identify with his adoptive parents, his bio mom, where do I fit in? This episode had a lot of trauma. They regurgitated all the trauma up, okay? And I always say, when the scene is over, is there anyone around to settle that, to decompress, to help with all those emotions I got brought up during the scene before you just get in your car and drive home? I wonder about the care and the foundation because so much trauma this episode. These last two episodes to me have just been about bringing up that childhood trauma and showing how a lot of these people don't need to be on this show. They really need to be in therapy. They really need to be sitting on a couch. Okay, not mine. But to work through the things that you can tell when they start talking about it, you see the tears, the activation, the triggers. You don't need to be married. Okay, you need to be married to a therapy couch. Okay, you need to be in a long-term relationship, sitting on somebody's couch and being intimate with those emotions, all that stuff to talk about it. All right. Now, throughout this episode, we saw the letter writing, we saw all that, but let's, get into this text thing. Okay. Now, when it comes to David and Michelle, two things can be true. She don't want him, but he's still married. So there's a part of me that's like, let's talk about it. Okay. Now they're driving to go see her family. Okay, and she brings up this situation with, you sent me this text last night saying I look so good, you want to eat me up. What was that about? He's like, driving. Oh, you want to talk about that? Oh, yeah. See, what had happened was, you're a bad liar. Okay, you need to have your lies straight. You need to have it together because apparently this text message was sent. You and old girl are not having relations. When have you ever said anything similar to her? Okay. And I'm looking at the phone. And so you have Michelle's name. And then I'm sure you have Madison. All right. And so I can see, even when I'm speaking about both these women, I begin their names mixed up. Okay. So I could see how you texting real fast. Okay, she's sending you a picture and you just texting. I do it all the time. Okay, text the wrong person, the wrong people be texting me, and then you see it disappear because they didn't send you the wrong text message. So I could see how, oh shit, damn, unsend. But before you can unsend it, your wife on paper, because in reality, they're not really husband and wife. On paper, you are still married. So you want to send the message thinking, whew, okay, thank God. I unsent it. We should be good. She didn't reply. So that means she didn't see it, right? Oh no, bruh. Oh no, she saw it. And now the thing about Michelle is that she's been critical. She's been nitpicky. Some of y'all in my comments say she's disrespectful and rude. And so people like her need something to latch on to. I say this in a lot of my recaps of these reality dating shows. They need something to latch on to like, see, I told you he was a bad guy. See, I told you. No matter what I'm doing, no matter that I'm not putting any effort, I don't really want to be with him. I got him. I got something. I told y'all. And that's just what Michelle is looking for. Something to hang on to and now latch herself to for the rest of the season. Now, I do feel like on paper they are married. There is some sanctity to marriage. There is some respect levels to marriage. But at what point do you, in this type of marriage, decide, I've been trying, I've been dressing different, I've been trying to show up the man that she desires in her head. No matter what I do, it's been 8 weeks, y'all. Remember that. We are 20 days away from decision day in these episodes, but in reality, we got about 20 more episodes. But at this time frame in their relationship, we are 20 days away from decision day. So that means for the last, 8 to 9 weeks, I have not had no kiss. I have not had no hugs, no physical connection, no intimacy. And so I'm like, at what point do I throw in the towel? And another layer to this is the sanctions and the fines. I really feel like this season, the fine thing was at the forefront of a lot of these people just staying. Because I think if it wasn't for being fined or sanctioned, I think David, Ike, Juan, I think they would have left. But I think because of this, I don't want to have to pay 30, well, I don't know what it is, 30,000, 50,000. I don't have to pay that money. So I got to stick it out. And I think he has been trying, y'all. But at the same time, he is married to a woman who don't want him. Now, in any other circumstance outside of this being a TV show, I would probably say for sure he is wrong. But there's a side of me that's like, he has tried. And she has said and shown him, I don't want you. And she's admitted on the after show, after party, I checked out the day I met him. And he has felt that, you guys, for 30 plus days. I have felt she don't want me. Okay. So at some point along the way, I decided I need some affection. I need some attention. I need to feel good about myself. And yes, I feel like there are levels where I do feel like it is wrong. But this is also an interesting experiment where it's not, a real, I don't want to say it's not a real marriage, but I feel conflicted because I see that he's not getting what he needs, but on paper they are married. And Michelle said, you should have never done any of this stuff until we figured us out, which is true. Okay, because over time, she comes back to this whole text thing. She wants to get him on camera. She want to put him on blast. So can we go over that conversation again? So your friend was in Chinatown. What was the food? Let me see the picture. Let me see the text. And so he pulls out the phone and then wait. Nah. There's too much evidence on this phone. It's too much. My text with Madison, if I give her the phone, it's going to open up the floodgates. And I ain't trying to go there. Okay. So no, you cannot have my phone. And then it's like, oh yeah, you're lying. You're big. If y'all didn't believe he was lying in the car when he made up the story about Chinatown and wanted to eat something, he want to eat something, but it ain't food, y'all. Okay. He got some cravings. All right. Some real cravings. All right. But you lying. Get good about your lie. Okay. Because now Michelle has something to attach herself to for the next 15 episodes. Is that you cheated. Okay. You've been on Tinder talking to your exes. And I do think there's a such thing as people missing physical affection, wanting to be touch deprived. And I think there might be that here, but you are married. On paper, yes. In reality, no. But on paper, you are married. So you have to come to terms with being honest. And he started to unravel. Yeah, I've been talking to my ex. I've been talking to my ex on Tinder. I've been doing this. You know what? F it. I've been trying. And you ain't giving me nothing for trying. So you know what? Yeah, I've been talking to some females. You happy now? You want the truth? You can't handle the truth. You've been talking to other people? Wow, David. Wow. Wow. But maybe if you put in some effort, some time, the experts really were active and really wanted to help us, we would not be at this point. But there are a lot of different factors that have gotten us here. And one of those being that you checked out the first day. Now, like I said, when they have the weddings, the next day, I think they go to the court building, and that's when they sign the paper legalizing their marriage. So if you checked out when you saw him, you still had the opportunity to say, you know what, like in Colorado, runaway bride, no, I don't want to do this. I can't do it. You had that option. David, you also had options. I tried, y'all. It ain't working. You know, when the cameras leave, let's have a conversation. Mic's off, just you and me. Okay, this ain't working. It ain't. But because neither one of us want to be fine, because we sign contracts, let's just fake it. Okay? You do you, I'ma do me. But when we on camera, we gonna make it look like we doing something. Like we going somewhere. I think that could have happened. There were different options. Okay. So let's get to Miss Madison and her complex PTSD. Okay. Madison has a lot of complex PTSD, trauma, and mother issues. Behind the face, behind the muscle is a hurt little girl. Wanting a relationship with her mom, wanting attention, needing to work through the things that she has been through. Now she opens up to Allan, okay, about this car accident that she was in. But that mother-daughter relationship, she needs to heal from that. She needs to work on that. A lot of people go into marriages with parental wounds. Both of them have parental wounds, Allan and Madison. Allan is more passive. I think Madison puts on a good game. But I think in some ways she's similar to Allan. All that parental trauma, Allan going through 14 years of seeing his parents in a custody battle, 18 years of not having a relationship with his stepsister, only to hear her voice the night before getting married. All that activation this show is bringing up to the surface. For what? For scenes? For what? Okay, we're seeing over and over just how the trauma becomes a narrative for these reality shows to make coin, make dollars. And they talk about both their traumas. Does it really bond them? No. Because Allan is in the friend zone. And it's a friendship. Because Madison is low-key texting David. That's who her real connection has become. And so we see them throughout the episode talk about different traumas, but it's the friend zone. They have to work on that inner hurt. Because even if Allison moves on from Allan to David, that trauma still comes with her into that new relationship. So you guys have to focus on working on those parental wounds so you don't go into your relationships expecting your partners to be your parents, to give you the love, to make you feel seen. Because both Allan and Madison, to me, want to feel seen. They didn't feel that way in their childhood, and here we are, trying to feel seen by different people because our parents did not pour that into us. Okay, and similar with Karla and Juan. They are both, I think, wanting to be seen. Karla, they showed pictures of her. I'm still like, are you the baby? I still can't tell if you're the second youngest or if you are the youngest. Let me know in the comments if y'all figured that out. But Karla and Juan also have the activity of writing letters to their younger selves. And the common denominator here is that they both want to be seen. Okay, Karla felt like growing up, girls were mean to her. She was bullied. She watered herself down and disappeared. Juan actually has gone through so much trauma, which makes me see how he's reserved and more to himself. I think a lot of his childhood, he had to fend for himself, be independent. Okay, and you see this whole thing about the American dream doesn't exist anymore. And the pressures that it put on people trying to immigrate from here, going back and forth from America to their home country, the things there, acclimation, and how all that is a lot of trauma too. Where do I fit in? Do I, assimilate to America? Do I become more like where I'm from? I'm going back and forth. I'm not really seeing my parents because they're trying to fight for us. And the anger a child holds inside at their parents for being absent, when really the parents were trying to just give you a better life at the cost of what? There are a lot of layers to Juan that we just don't see and he doesn't really talk about. So I like this, but then I was also like, activating his trauma to connect them, to trauma bond them. Juan has a lot of abandonment issues, things related to immigration, his dad having cancer. He's been through and seen a lot at such a young age, and it's impacted him to the point where I think he's trying to fight for financial stability because he didn't have that as a child. But I also wonder, does it keep him from getting to know people and letting people in because he has been hurt by a nanny, hurt by people close to him, that he's still needing to overcome a lot of that trauma? And we really don't talk about the aspects of young children coming to this country for a better life and how traumatic it can be, trying to assimilate, trying to find your identity, trying to keep what your roots were, the pressures of becoming Americanized versus like remain in Colombia and all the cartel things that were happening there that you saw, you witnessed. We don't talk about that enough. Okay. And I think it's going to come up to the forefront now with everything that, is happening, going to be happening, and how activating and re-triggering that can be for people nowadays who are about to go through a lot of hard things related to this election season and who we have in office. All right. Now let's get a little bit to Emmy and Ike. All right. Now I told y'all there was no reason for these two to move back in together. It was the pressure of Dr. P and Pastor Cal, and that he really didn't want to move back in with her. And I notice how now she's not referring to him as her husband. Because what she realized, he wasn't giving husband. But why did it take so long? Why are you open to having this man re-enter your life to hurt you again? Well, he doesn't want to be with you. You have to work through that self-worth. Now, y'all might have self-esteem, y'all might have confidence, but self-worth is at the foundation here. And I think that is what is missing. Now, they get to the apartment, they're having a conversation. And it's interesting because as I'm watching, I'm like, okay, they're both setting boundaries. Ike is setting a boundary, Emma is, setting a boundary. But then when it comes to her setting a boundary, my spidey sense. And I had to think back to a comment that somebody put in my comment section about Ike having a personality disorder, allegedly. And y'all know I don't lean heavy on really diagnosing people or giving them personality disorders because that shit's really heavy. And I don't want to put that on somebody, but looking at the episodes, the scenes, the boundary setting and his reaction, how critical he is, whoever left that comment, I see you. I'm feeling it. I'm really starting to see the personality disorder. Okay, I'm gonna have to do a whole separate, episode, a whole separate video on that because I'm like, oh, I see it. I see there could be a personality disorder here. And I know what I think it is. Okay. And we don't talk enough about it in men. We talk about it more in women. Now, throughout this episode, I'm just like thinking back, you know, it's going back in my mind like, oh, that happened. I'm like, he might really have a personality disorder. But that's going to be a whole nother video, y'all. Now, if you think you know what personality disorder you feel like he has, pull out your DSMs, not Google's. Okay, let me know in the comments. Okay, but it's like, why are y'all still trying in this relationship that's not going nowhere? It's not. Each of you are just getting more and more hurt and invested in something that don't need no investment. No one is time to call it quits and walk away. But because of this TV show, because of producers, because of the sanctions and the fines, what are we doing here? Why are we doing this to each other? Why? There's so many insecurities in him and her, y'all. If she did not have her own set of insecurities, she wouldn't be moving forward in this relationship. And I know y'all don't want to hear it. Y'all want me to come on here and just load up the chopper and go at him. But we don't do that over here. We talk about both perspectives, both sides. And I believe that there's some stuff going on over there with her. Maybe more stuff with him, deeper stuff. But over here, there's some things with her. But people don't want to focus on that aspect of the relationship that both people contribute to where they are. Whether it's in a good place, whether you're in a bad place, each of you put down some bricks and laid the foundation. But most people don't want to talk about their role and how they got to this place in their relationship. It's easier to just blame, and not take any responsibility and any accountability. But I feel like it's stuff on both sides and they need to let it go. Now, I think I didn't talk about all the couples this time, y'all. It was a lot of trauma, a lot of activation. If you're building a foundation of your relationship and you're doing this letter writing, and you're trying to talk and grow your relationship, do you want the foundation to be a trauma bond? Is that what y'all trying to make these people do? Because I didn't really see how it really bonded them. With Karla, it got her to the point where she trusted herself now to have Juan come meet her family. I don't think that was a good idea, because now the family knows this person who ain't gonna be around in 20 days. Okay, the only people I think that it has really maybe bonded a little bit is Camille and Thomas, because once again, they're the only people to me who are invested in emotional intelligence, emotional vulnerability, not weaponizing it, and seeing how it's making them get more comfortable with each other, and they're getting to know each other past husband and wife titles. They're getting to know each other as people, which is what a lot of y'all forget. Even if you're not married, even if it's a friendship, a relationship, get to know the person as a person. Not for, I want you to be my best friend, I want you to be my girlfriend, I want you to be my boyfriend. Become invested in the human and not the title. Okay? But that's all I got for y'all. I'm seeing and connecting the dots here, y'all. I'm seeing it. But of course, make sure you hit that like, you subscribe, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.